God, let me have a great talk about the heart center, expansion and contraction, and everything else that pops in. Hello, beautiful people. Today I will talk about the heart center mainly, and about all the other stuff that we may encounter on our way. So, you may have heard that in our life we can either expand or contract in every moment, in every second, in every millisecond. We have the decision to expand ourselves, to develop ourselves, to become greater, or to become less, to contract ourselves. Well, that seems like great responsibility. But with this responsibility also comes great power. Spider-Man, the uncle of Peter Parker, told him, with great power comes great responsibility. And I say, with great responsibility also comes great power. Now, what is expansion? What is contraction? It is something that we can understand through some pictures, some metaphors. Like, you can either move forward your way or you can go backwards. You can either go the ladder up or down. You can either go with the stream or against the stream. It is about, you can develop yourself or you can shrink. It is like when you stop doing something, you get less. This is somehow how it works here. I don't know if it's in all existence like that, but here it's like life flows. It's always in movement. So you either can flow in a greater version of yourself or in a smaller version. As I said, this is a great responsibility, so we have to be really conscious. The good thing is, this consciousness will become second nature of us, and it is always a lot of fun. So, there are various ways how to be conscious if we are expanding or contracting. The first thing is that you probably already know is that you're conscious of your emotions, how you're feeling. For example, if you're feeling good about anything, you're moving forward on your way to expansion, infinite expansion. When you're feeling bad doing something, you're moving backwards. So you can do two things. First, you change what you're doing. So for example, if you're going down that path, you don't feel good, go back. Because when you're doing something and it doesn't feel good, you always will shrink. It is a destructive act that brings the energy down, that brings the energy in less harmony, in less structure. It's all the same, just different words of one thing that is actually really simple. But with words it all becomes more complex. Energy fits on a higher vibration, the structure is more complex. And it also has a bigger volume. Not volume? I don't know. It is bigger in its bigness. So either you change the action, the direction of what you're doing, or you're changing how you feel about it. if you're going down that path, you don't feel good, you can also say, no, I feel good going down that path. And then it will be good for you to walk down that path if you really, really can change your feeling about it. Because what you're doing is you're changing the direction on a deeper level of your consciousness. Because how you feel is also saying how you move through the dimensions, multidimensionally, your way. So there's a reality where it will be bad for you going down that path. So you can either go another path, or you can totally change the reality where you're going still down that path, but this path will be a good path for you. So you can focus on your emotions and then either change the action that you're doing or the attitude, the feeling about the action that you're doing. Then you can look at your face. You can see if you're rather contracted or expanded. So how do we know that someone is sad? His face is contracted. We know that. He wants to protect his energy because he lost something. I did this video before and it's lost. So now I thought, okay, how can I not go into contraction? How can I make this an experience for me that expands me, where I not go into contraction, but into expansion? And so I read actually in my notebook. It is German, but in English it would be, everything is expansion. Nothing really is a loss of energy. So if you're losing something in this reality, you can always get something positive out of it by changing your attitude. And that you see, for example, on your face. If you're in fear, you're like that. Oh my gosh, this is a real strong contraction. Sadness is this, it's a little less contraction. And now it gets really interesting. Look at anger. Here you have like expansion. Right here you have contraction. Happiness, full expansion. Hey, woo! Okay, yay, woo! Then anger, expansion, contraction. So it's always, with anger, you're always on a higher vibration than in fear. Anger is a really useful tool, because in fear you're totally contracted, and in anger you're still going out. It's not a good energy at all. But you get out of your fear and you expand yourself again. You get a feeling of your power again. That's really positive. It's really positive. So it is a good energy at all. But you have to see from which standpoint you're coming. If you're coming from fear, anger is great. If you're coming from hope, anger is not so good. So, and especially when you're in a good mood, anger is not that good. But well, you can say beep it, and then go on. That's cool. It's fine. So you can look at your face. You can look in the mirror and look, am I contracted or not? You can say, okay, by the way, I love you. I love you, really. And you did a great job. Whatever you did, whatever you do, whatever you will do, I love you. I really love you. You're me. How should I not love you? You're so great. And I should tell you that more often. You know what? Every day now, I will look in the mirror and say, you're great. And then your face will get really soft. You can look at other people's face and see if they're happy most of the time or not happy most of the time. If they're sad most of the time or angry at the time. For example, these people talking like that. No offense, but if you're talking like that, this is some contraction going on. So there should be something. So have a look at that. It's no offense, really no offense, but it's a joke. People in Germany, some people look like that, and they also talk like that. You may know it. It's the Eastern German accent, and I'm now a little bit talking English with that, which I never did before, but it kind of works. Maybe it's a new accent in English. So, have a look at people's faces. Have a look at your face. Then, have a look at your body posture. How are your shoulders? Yeah? If they're like that, guess what? You're contracted. What do you want to protect? This. Your heart. If shoulders go like this, you want to protect your heart. So make sure that you know that your heart is strong, and you don't need to protect it with your shoulders. Make sure that your heart is strong, and you don't need to protect it with your shoulders. Your heart is strong. Your heart actually is invulnerable. It is actually full of energy and never gets tired. It is infinite. I mean, this is hard for you or some of us to imagine, but really, in the end, there are two options: either limitation or infinity. Infinity means not limitation. Finis are limits in Latin. Infinity is unlimited. Two options. And really, to me, more and more, infinity became more and more logical or natural to me. And it will to everyone, because it is nature of existence. So we come to our heart. Our heart is our center of our being. That's what I say now. I don't know if that's the ultimate truth, but in a way it is our center, also with our body. If you go there, I believe that the ego program, the ego chip that we all have implanted in us, well, is in the heart. So when we are in the heart, our ego is not active. It can't be active if we're really in our heart. So we do not limit ourselves out of the fear to expand too much and lose ourselves and lose energy. And we always think positive, true thoughts about everyone, about ourselves. The ego is like a switch to negative. Everything the soul thinks, our core thinks and wishes, the ego goes whoop and says, I'm not that. If you wish to be a great composer, whoop, I am not a great composer, and that feels painful, and that is sadness, by the way. So how to stay always positive, how to stay always in expansion? Stay in your heart. Because then the chip of the ego is not active, and the soul can run and go and act through you. God realized beings through the heart. Maybe something else, and I will come to that later. Yes, I let that be the first part. So, expansion and contraction. How can you see it? Your face, your emotions, your body, and stay in your heart. And there are a lot of other things that we can do that you can find out. But this is the end of part 1. And I see you in the next part. It was a great pleasure. Bye bye. Thank you.